the channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Chris Moore, and in today's video we've got a 2019 Hayabusa with a Yoshimura full exhaust system. This is one of my favorite colors they've ever made in the Busa. I love the silver with the red wheels. This thing looks so good. Yoshimura full alpha exhaust system, carbon fiber muffler, stainless headers, really nice looking exhaust system. This exhaust system does get rid of the catalytic converter and of course gets rid of the dual exhaust. So from the factory, Hayabusas have a dual exhaust system. The dual exhaust system is restrictive and crazy heavy. So not only do you gain horsepower from the exhaust system, but you also lose about 40 pounds of weight, which makes a huge difference. Now this bike has a K&N air filter and has approximately 3,000 miles. So pretty much brand new Busa. It does have a Power Commander 5 on it right now. We are gonna be zeroing the Power Commander 5 out. In other words, doing the complete tune through the factory ECU, removing the restrictions in the ECU, removing the top speed rev limiter in the ECU, lowering the fan temps, changing the ignition timing. There's a lot of things that we can do in the ECU that we cannot do in the Power Commander. So when the customer gets home, he's gonna take the Power Commander 5 off and sell that. So he's gonna basically get half his money back on the tune and flash just from selling the Power Commander. So it works out pretty good. All right, guys, stay with us. We're about to do the baseline pull with the Power Commander as the way it came in now and see what kind of horsepower we got. Stay with us. All right, guys, so we're plugged into the Power Commander 5 now, and we're about to zero out the Power Commander. So basically what that means is we're gonna select the complete entire map. We're just gonna click up here. This will highlight everything. We're literally gonna just type in 0, and that's gonna put all zeros into the Power Commander, and then literally just hit send. So that right there is gonna clear out the Power Commander. So basically it's doing nothing. When the customer gets back home, they can take the Power Commander off and sell it. We just did the baseline pull. The bike made 168 on the horsepower, but I think we can do a little better with that. We're gonna get some more horsepower out of this thing after we do the ECU Flash. The ECU, for those of you who do not know, really simple to remove on a Busa. Literally just take the 2 seat bolts out here, and the ECU sits right here. Just unplug it, and you can mail it in and get a flash for your bike. All right, guys, let's get this thing going and see what we can get out of it. All right, guys, here we go. Keep an eye on the right end there. That's the air fuel ratio gauge. 18.0 is as lean as the bike will read. 14, 13, that's about where we want to be cruising. We just did the ECU Flash. We don't have it 100% perfected yet, but watch how smooth the air fuel ratio is right off the bat. guys, so I wanted to take a minute to show you what we got going on in the ECU of this Hayabusa. We can do a lot of cool things. For one, we can get rid of the top speed rev limiter. So all we gotta do is check that little box there, but that is something else that you would have to buy. In other words, a TRE, or there's several different devices to get rid of that. But that's just one more item to buy, one more item to plug in on your bike, and one more, I guess you would say, item of clutter that you don't need. The next thing is we can lower our fan temp. So everybody knows Busas run fairly hot. Now this 105, 100, this is Celsius, so we can drop the fan temps down. Usually I drop them down 10 degrees. If you drop them down too low, it will make it run 24/7. But I do have the ability to drop it to whatever we want to drop it to. We can disable the stock O2 sensor. We can disable the pair valve code. So if you want to do pair block off plates, that is an additional part that goes on the valve cover. Basically, it's an emissions part. We can disable that code so you don't get a light for that. Now this disable decel fuel cut, what that does is that keeps the fuel injectors running whenever you decel on the fuel. So whenever you let off and you're just sitting there coasting down the hill, whatever, this keeps the fuel injectors on, spraying just a little bit while the bike is decelling. That is the reason for that popping that you hear in the video. Now we can make the bike run super smooth without that, but some people love that popping, as we just talked about. Some people dislike the popping, so that's an option that we can turn on and off in the ECU on about any of the bikes that we flash. Some of them it's not an option, but the majority of the new bikes, that is an option. So one more thing that we want to show you, the restrictions in the ECU. So not only does the bike, the ECU turn the bike back in 6th gear at 186 miles an hour, but we have these things called secondary throttle plate openings. And when we put it in gear, you see that the bike basically does not open and go full throttle until 50 or basically 6,000 RPMs. Now the ECU sees 94.5 as 100%. In other words, that is full power. So it doesn't go full power until 6,000 RPMs on the secondary throttle plate. So that is a restriction. On a Busa, it helps top end horsepower a little bit, but the main thing is it does help the low end horsepower a good bit where they're held back. Now in 2nd gear, the secondary throttle plates don't go wide open until 8,400 RPM. So all that is different in every gear. But all that little stuff helps. Now we can also change the ignition timing maps, which we cannot do on a Power Commander, and we can change it by gear as well. So the ignition timing from the factory is cut back a little bit. Like I said, I don't always share my ignition timing numbers with you guys, but just letting you know they are restricted from the factory in the ECU. All right guys, so we've done a flash, we've done a couple pulls. I'm still working on the air-fuel ratio on this thing. We're almost finished, and we're gonna have the final pulls and the final numbers to show you here in just a second. so we got the before and after all finished up on the Hayabusa here. Really strong gains on this thing. We went from 168 horsepower to 179, and out here you can see we went from 165 to 176, 163 to 176. So everywhere we've got good solid gains from tuning and flashing this Hayabusa. So even down here, this is like 7,300 RPMs. We picked up 7 horsepower there. We did make 105 foot-pounds of torque. Now I don't have the initial torque reading because I did not have the RPM signal hooked up, which is needed for torque on the first pull. But we do have 105 foot-pounds of torque, which is nice and strong. Most of the GSX-R 1000, ZX-10, stuff like that, all the 1000cc liter bikes, they usually make around 80 foot-pounds of torque. So that's where a Hayabusa and a ZX-14, the bigger displacement engines, really shine, is the torque that they have. So they do, really a lot of the new Busas and stuff, they won't make as much as the GSX-R 1000s, but they make way more torque, which makes them super fast. Also, this bike is going to be super comfy for a big guy. So if you're 6'2", 6'3", you know, 200 pounds, a 1000 may not be an option for you. You know, so a Busa ZX-14 definitely is the way to go for the bigger guy. Plus 2, way more comfy to ride. So anyways, all right guys, I hope you have enjoyed the video. Be sure to smash that like button, click the subscribe and the bell for notifications so you get the next video. As always guys, we appreciate you. Thanks for watching. See ya.